when we were 4 people doing one project without even a name, and now when there's tens of thousands of members, we've had 3 consistent values that we've never shifted from. And each of them is interesting and provides a lot of insight into who we are. The first one is that we're all volunteer-run. And what this means is that instead of having 5 people working 40 hours a week, what ends up happening is we have 40 people volunteering 5 hours a week. It's the same amount of time, a little bit more coordination, but you can use technology to offset the coordination overhead, and you get the same amount of input. But you actually get a lot more than that, because what you tap into is the power of many. So all of a sudden there's this collective intelligence that you get the benefit of that you wouldn't have had if you were just 5 people working 40 hours a week. And we didn't realize that. We just wanted to give because we wanted to give without any strings attached. But being volunteer-run really gave us that power of many, power of the collective, power of this co-creative intelligence that seems to happen in many sincere groups. So we got the benefit of that. The second rule we had was that we didn't fundraise. We didn't ask for things. And initially people were like, well, how are we going to do it? This is like a little bit extreme. But we just didn't want to be clouded by this veil of, I'm doing this, so maybe I can sustain myself through it, or maybe I can get some benefit. We just didn't want that. And so we said, can we just do it as a part-time thing? And maybe it becomes full-time later for some people, maybe it doesn't, but for now, you give the purest of your being, you give the purest of your being, you give the purest, and have it be a collective expression of selflessness. Can we do that? And it's been amazing to do that. Again, it had consequences that we didn't anticipate. Because when you don't fundraise, when you don't ask, the sincerity, it just goes up, right? Because all the people you attract are people who genuinely care. And so you never have to worry about people coming in and taking advantage of anything, because this wasn't a place where there was anything to be taken advantage of, So it was beautiful. You got a lot of sincere people. It also made us honor everybody equally. Because we didn't ask. We had to assume value in every single thing that we encountered, because you never knew. I could talk to you, and tomorrow you might end up doing X, Y, Z in the world, and that may come back to me, and that may be just what I need. The ripple effect. You really start understanding that you throw one pebble in this still pond, and it has these incredible ripples. And you really start to capture the value of and the power of that ripple effect. And you wouldn't do that if you didn't have this understanding of not asking. When you don't ask, you're humble to the degree of your survival plan relies on this ripple effect. You count on everybody. You have to count on everybody, because you don't know who is a gateway to what. And that, honoring that, was something. So we found that a lot of our innovative ideas, a lot of our radical, powerful, contagious ideas come in the most unexpected ways. And that happens because we assume value everywhere. No matter who they are, no matter what kinds of clothes they're wearing, no matter what they bring to the table, no matter how radical it is, you assume value in it. Even if they bring suffering to you, you assume value. Because sometimes suffering can be good for you. It can open you up to a deeper level of awareness. And so that was profound. And the third thing was that we would focus on small acts, small things. Don't try to, none of this thing. There is a place for the think tank, change the world, but this wasn't that place. This was a place where everyday common person would come and say, hey, I want to express my goodwill, I want to express my generosity, I want to grow in compassion. And we would do small things. I can do small things, and I'd like to do small things. And so we said we would honor those small things. And again, a side effect of that was that we would do projects that didn't have a threshold. It wasn't like if daily good reaches 75,000 people, then it's successful. It was like, hey, if it reaches 5 people and those 5 people have a better day, it's worth it. If you do a project and it means something to you, you are moved by that project, by that process, it's worth it. It doesn't matter if you built one website or 7,000 websites. It wasn't about the numbers. So it really made us humble, and it made us process oriented. And so we valued every single step of the process. And that's really opens up many new doors that you wouldn't have if you were just focused on achieving an end, achieving an outcome. So we really started to enjoy the journey. And so that was our third principle. So the first principle is that you're all volunteer run. The second principle is you don't fundraise, you don't ask, you accept whatever is offered. And the third principle is you focus on small acts. Really, the joy is in the journey. It's in the process.